Ooh. Okay, so of course you would do that. You would do that. Wait, look. Is it gonna go? All right, we're gonna keep this in because that's just what be happening sometimes, child. Well, hi everybody, it's Kendrick from Providence. I am going to finally be doing another collective reading. I'm gonna be pulling one Lenormand card for each sign, one mystical Lenormand card for each sign. It's been a while since I have posted a reading, maybe like a month and a half. I can't even remember, child. But a lot has been going on. The retrograde is over. It was a doozy. Oh my gosh, I got sick for like a week or something, a little bit over that, but I know why, because I was pushing myself way too much. That wasn't really, oh my gosh. There we go. I was pushing myself way too much, with everything, like working, taking care of animals, reading, but really was like my extra teaching schedule that really did it to me, and like taking care of the animals, just because it's like things changed very abruptly right before the retrograde started. And once we got into the retrograde, everything sort of settled into this sort of like non-stop hamster wheel. And, okay. It was giving very that. Very that. And wouldn't you know it, I got like the flu or something, and I was like, well, that's what happens when you try to be Superman, right? I prefer Spider-Man, but yeah, I think I do. Anyway, we're going to be using the mystical Lenormand for each zodiac sign today. My hands are crazy because they've been getting chewed up by a wolf. Okay, let's just say that. So, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Please give us these messages for each zodiac sign: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These are the mystical Lenormand, so we're going to definitely be cutting them, but we're going to pull from the bottom, and maybe I am going to do the whole thing where you lay out the 3 stacks and then you look at the cards that are, on the top of the 3 stacks to kind of tell you what the energy is and the vibe, the essence. Okay. Essence Music Festival. Is that a thing? Essence Music Festival? All right, y'all. These cards are like, they're like, we've been doing a lot. Okay, so let's see what's going on with these. All right, so some of you are working a lot, right? Some of work is keeping you from having fun, Also, maybe you're taking yourself too seriously, some of you, and you're not able to allow yourself to enjoy your life just because you have taken on so much extra responsibility. This is literally exactly what I was talking about in terms of what happened to me during the retrograde, that, it's interesting because some things are not out of your control. Some things are actually intentional, so if you are intentionally setting things up to, to restrict you or to make things less possible or something like that, maybe you need to free yourself from the responsibility, okay, of something, or maybe you're giving yourself too much authority. And that's like what was happening to me. I was trying to do everything, and I could sort of like made myself sick, right? Which isolated me in some kind of way, because I had to kind of like stay away from people. I didn't have COVID because I took a test, but this is something that some things could be going on for you guys too. This is also authority, right? Maybe you're taking on more responsibility and you're realizing the amount of pressure that you are under now. You're also realizing how, all of the authority and the responsibility has taken away from the thrill of your life. You know what I mean? So maybe some of you need to go out and have fun again. You can always go back to that tower of work that you have to do. Maybe some of you have let a lot of work build up, pile up, that type of thing, things that you have to do. Like if you're a reader on YouTube, if you feel like you have a lot of readings that you need to get through, try to create some sort of process or some sort of structure within the week, because it's kind of hard to set up some kind of structure within a day that already exists, that already inherently has a structure. But maybe there will be a little bit more flexibility in your week that allows you to kind of like set yourself up for success and avoid feeling like a failure because you weren't able to get the work done that you knew you had to get done, And also don't let anything intimidate you, you know what I mean? You can handle it, You can handle it, you can, right? Saturn wants to make you stronger, So also, some of you don't even know your own strength. You know what I mean? Right? You might even be feeling kind of like vulnerable, or maybe you look vulnerable to people, but really you are very extremely strong. You know what I mean? Because a person who is in a tower on a little tiny island in the middle of the ocean looks vulnerable, but the tower looks very strong. You know what I mean? Right? So know your strength, but also know your weaknesses, right? And that's the thing where, opposition, which are differences, create a stronger foundation, right? So it's saying like, hold on one second. Of course this would happen again. It's like these short playlists, you know what I mean? It's like each song is 5 minutes long, but I gotta do like something right on the background. But yeah, that's a lot for that card. Let me look. Let me look at what time it is, y'all. Okay. Yes, I get Saturn and Venus, which is kind of like valuing your beauty, and also valuing your liberty, valuing your freedom, okay? Valuing your perspective, okay? Because Saturn does rule another air sign, which is Aquarius. It hasn't come up, but, Saturn and Venus. I don't know what the aspects that are happening in the sky in terms of Venus and Saturn. Oh, they're trining maybe, because isn't Saturn in Aquarius and Venus is in Libra? Okay, there we go. So we got a trine going on right here. So this is the perfect time to harmonize with others, okay, about your points of view, right? Or this is a good time to kind of like express your point of view in a way that is actually going to work for you, rather than work against you, because that's the opposition that creates the strength, right? So it's like hard and soft. And that is so interesting because that creates balance, right? Hard, like the mountain or like Saturn, and then soft, like Venus, right? So it's saying like, be able to like, be that strong sense of self, but also allow yourself the time, space, and energy to not have to always be like, you know what I mean? And obviously, I'm definitely learning that because I am a Libra. I'm a double Libra with a Cancer moon, but it's that first house that really, and some of y'all might be like that too, where yes, it's this way, but it's also that way at the same time. So you have to honor both aspects, both sides, or all sides of you. Maybe, if you're not like one-dimensional and you don't just have two sides, maybe you're three-dimensional. Maybe you're, 4D, fine. If you're three-dimensional, then you could have a lot of different sides to you and not just one or two. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's look at what the third card is, since we're talking about trines and third dimensions and things like that. Okay, work. All right. So we have the storks. So this is talking about change, but it's also talking about growth and change, right? So maybe we've outgrown ourselves. You know what I mean? We've outgrown an old version of ourselves with Saturn being here and then Venus being here, right? Which is in between the two, okay? But then we have Aries here, which is ruled by Mars, but these are the storks. So the storks are talking about new beginnings, okay? I love it. So you guys are feeling like things are changing and things are shifting in your life. Like I said, oh my God, it's so crazy. The Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is the esoteric ruler of Aries, right? So change, right? Because Aries is always changing ideas, changing everything all the time, or always doing something. Just as busybodied as a Gemini is thinking a lot, you know, like that type of thing. So this is kind of like getting something under control. You know, if you got to clean the house, get that under control. If you need to replace something that is old, try to do that. But I do feel like, where is Mars right now? Okay, work. Mars is actually in Gemini. I mean, this is Aries, but Mars, which rules Aries, is actually in Gemini. So we got Mars in Gemini. We have Venus in Libra, and we have Saturn in Aquarius. So there's a trine going on there with those three planets, and they're kind of like cardinal in a sense and fixed, okay? So there are some things that definitely need to change, and we need to take on a leadership role. You know, maybe we don't need to be bossing other people around or telling other people what to do, but we can lead with intention instead of opposition, or leading with like I don't know, conviction, you know, like that type of thing. So let's create change where change is needed, that is going to benefit us in the ways that we would like to see, you know, like that type of thing. Lovely. And this is also saying that, like, some of you don't realize it, but people need you more than you know, right? Or maybe you're being helpful, or maybe you're just being present, right? For some. This is also a card for people who are, you know, maybe you have like two kids, and one is like, you know, 10 and the other one is 14, and you're like, the 14-year-old is getting older, so we're gonna have to, like, you know, get a bigger house or a bigger apartment or something. Maybe if you were in like, you know, a smaller house, maybe you want a townhouse now, or maybe if you were in a townhouse, you want like a separate house, you know, a standalone house, right? Maybe you want like a backyard or a back patio or something like that. But this is definitely talking about making changes in your space, you know what I mean? Because you're being, I don't know, something that is changing, that is being initiated, and you're adjusting to that. Hold on. Okay, so you're making adjustments. Let's look behind the tower. Okay, so this is good, yeah. You know, this is talking about stability and somebody that you can count on, right? So some of you, I don't know, maybe your brother, your father, your uncle, someone that you can rely on. Somebody's going to help you get out of a situation that you might feel caught up in, you know, and not in a bad way. You just might need some advice, or you might need some help, or you might need to speak to somebody who's also gone through what you've gone through. You know what I mean? Also, like, it's interesting because this person is in the tower, right? It's different than the tower in the tarot. This is Saturn, not Mars. And then this is a bear. So it's like coming out of hibernation, period. In terms of like whatever it is that you know, because this person is like, you know, they've just been kind of watching for a while, you know, spent a lot of time watching. Now it's time to come out and get the sweetness of that honey, bunny, show ain't funny. Yes, you better work. So we have Venus here, and where is she? In Libra. So this is paths, right? So this is changing course, you know what I mean? It's going in a new direction, and also you get to decide what you want to say, how you want to say it, what direction you're going in. Venus is also about, you know, your branding, your perspective, it's your essence, you know what I mean? Some of you guys could be changing up your look with Venus being on the other side, and then the paths, which is splitting, going in a different direction. So some of you guys could be wanting to get like, I don't know, you could be making a decision about, you know, getting a pet. Some of you could be making decisions about like clothes or the changing up like that style. Some of you could be getting rid of like old things, obsolete things in your life that don't necessarily matter to you, that you don't value Venus as much anymore. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you realize that you might even be getting kind of like tired or bored with something here. You know what I mean? And you want to break free of this sort of like linear thing, right? Because things were very linear and now they're not. They're sort of like spoken out. So this is a sense of growth here that comes from this change that you are initiating, maybe to your look, you know what I mean? It's kind of like going against the grain or going against the current, the flow of the current. You know what I mean? That's Libra right here. And it's number 22, right? So 22 is talking about balance, definitely. But on the other side, it's 29. So this is like 11. And then on the other side, 22 will be 4, right? Interesting. And 1111 is actually the number 4. But, you know, this 4 is talking about, or this 22 is talking about choices and decisions, okay? 2 and 2, choices, plural, and decisions, right? So it's kind of like not letting yourself be singularly led in one direction, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like the path that everybody follows is the path that is easily available. You know, sometimes you're on a path and then you're faced with a decision to go in a new direction, and this could be in terms of work for some of you. It could be changing something in terms of like, I don't know, your scheduling, just because the bear is here coming out of hibernation. That's talking about time sensitive things, or it's talking about, you know, a season of change, like that type of thing. Yes. And, you know, bears are very self-reliant. I'm like, child, am I going to be able to do all of the single sign readings? I'm like, this is turned into like a, you know, I don't know, like some sort of like collective thing here. Anyway, yeah, we're dealing with that. Hi, baby. Gosh. Okay, yeah, you're going to lay back down? Well, some of y'all are. Some of y'all are making changes. Some of y'all are pregnant. Some of y'all are having babies. Some of y'all are, you know, getting pets, you know, but this is also a trusted friend, you know. Some of you guys might be wanting to have kids with a trusted friend if you're not with somebody that you're married to or anything like that, and you're like, this is the person that I kind of like want my kid. I don't even know. But this is definitely somebody that you can put your faith in, and somebody that you can trust and honor. Like someone is loyal to you, you know what I mean? So if you're questioning someone's loyalty, then it's saying that they are, you know, especially if you didn't have any huge like things going on with you where like you weren't able to trust that person, or that person betrayed you, or you felt like they did, or anything like that. It's saying, like, for those of you out there that's wondering if anybody is in that type of energy, it's saying no, they're not, you know, this one right here, just specifically. But this is also talking about changes and not knowing necessarily what to expect, because, you know, with dogs, they have that energy of Aquarius where they're like, kind of, hold on, I'm sorry, where they're kind of like rebellious, you know what I mean? And they kind of do what they will, you know? But this is also like, yeah, some of you just need bigger spaces, right? It's funny because you have a nest here on one side that's teeny tiny. You can only fit like, you know, the feet. What do you call them? The claws, the talons. I don't know. Okay. I'm not necessarily a biology major. I never was. But then you have a huge house here with a fireplace with a huge fire behind it. Sounds familiar. But it's going from a nest to a big old house. So congratulations for those of you who are moving into a bigger place. Child, I'm right where I am. Okay? Not for long. God. Am I doing this right? Yeah, okay. We said we was gonna pull from the bottom. Let me see if I got time. So Aries, right? It's so funny that you get your own card. You're making changes at 1945. Aries, you're making changes. You know, you're realizing something that you want to, I don't know, be or do, or maybe you just feel like you've gotten small in the place that you've been in, or the space that you've been in your life, what you've been doing. Maybe you feel like you've been doing things small on a small scale and you want to do things on a bigger scale. Taurus, you are definitely feeling like, I don't know, you just want to, it's cuffing season, basically. Taurus, at whatever time. I'm sorry, I'm just going because I need to just keep going. But Taurus, yeah, this is, you're thinking of friendship, you're thinking of loyalty, you're wanting to either show someone how much you appreciate them, you know, that type of thing, or you are just wanting to get comfortable, get cozy. You're really looking forward to that part of the season where you can be inside and you can just make the most of your like familiar surroundings. You know what I mean? You're going to be investing in that a lot more, right? So warmth, coziness, I don't know, just doing a lot of things that are fun indoors, like that type of thing. That's what you're like looking forward to, or you're looking forward to spending time with someone that you really care about, and just showing them like how much you appreciate them or love them in some kind of way with the dog there. Gemini, this is Mars. Obviously, it's in your sign, so it is talking about, you know, what houses does Mars rule? The first house. Mars rules the 8th house, so it's who you are becoming through the transformation, and then also how your career might be changing in some kind of way, some aspect of your career, you know. What would your 10th house be? It would be Pisces. And I guess Jupiter has been there and Neptune has been there, but now they've moved on. So I don't know. This definitely has a lot to do with Mars being in your sign and it going retrograde and all of that. So it's kind of like who you are is changing, who you are becoming is, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of pressure to change, or maybe you're putting pressure on yourself to change, you know, like that type of thing. Because with Mars does create a sense of motivation, right? So maybe your motivations are changing, or maybe you are feeling like you want to get motivated before the retrograde, or you're letting the Mars retrograde in your sign sort of motivate you in different ways, right? Or you're finding different motivations. Let me just change this again. Sorry. Okay, so let's move on to Cancer. Cancer, you're getting your opposite, which is Capricorn, right? This is a mountain. This is talking about facing your fears, right? And this is also talking about taking the appropriate steps. You know, usually when you are climbing a mountain, you have to reach a summit and then another and then another. You know, you do things in steps and you do things in stages so that you don't overwhelm yourself with the journey, right? And this is also talking about letting things go that you feel like are getting heavier as you continue through whatever it is that you're going through, or wherever it is that you're traversing. You know what I mean? This could even be talking about that you're taking things to new heights here as well. Sometimes, Cancer, this could be talking about your work, and how it has become like harder for you in some kind of way, or maybe the pressure is being put on you to perform better at work. This is also talking about, you know, a powerful enemy in some kind of way, or this could be for some of you, this could be someone that makes things harder for you in some kind of way. Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, I don't know. But maybe a Capricorn is significant in your life. Maybe it could even be the boss or the authority, who could be just like, yeah, maybe some of you are lightening your schedules, you know. Maybe you feel like you're spending a lot of time doing something and you might be kind of like tired or exhausted, and you want to kind of like slow down in some kind of way, or you just want to kind of like regroup, right? Reorganize, and recuperate in some kind of way, just because that's what you do when you're climbing a mountain and you reach the summit. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Yeah. Leo. Okay, so this is seeing past the illusion of things, right? It's also talking about boundaries, right? So if you feel like this energy of Neptune or Pisces being disillusioned or not knowing where something begins or ends, it's kind of like this storm too shall pass. That's what I'm getting for you, Leo. Like, the storm is going to pass, whatever it is. You just have to allow yourself to see as clearly as you can throughout the storm, you know what I mean? Or throughout the bad weather. Also, some of you be very careful if you're driving in bad weather, or if you're doing anything where like you are attached to a vehicle or you know, that type of thing. Also, like, don't let people cloud your mind with nonsense, you know, whatever that is. Don't let people cloud your mind or your judgment with nonsense, okay? Yeah, for sure. Right, with the dragon, because that's a dragon that's actually in the cloud. So you can't, it's like you're making something out of something, but you don't know if it's really what you think it is or if it really is what it looks like, you know, like that type of thing. It also gives you very don't judge a book by its cover. Virgo. So Virgo, you have, yes, it's Virgo. Virgo, you have the fox, which is talking about cunning energy, or, you know, the fox is manipulative. So be aware if you're being manipulative or if you feel like you're being manipulated in some kind of way. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes with this card, hold on. Every time, right? I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. All right, you better tell me what to say then. Okay, I'm giving you Christmas. Child, I had this in the summertime. Okay. But Virgo, this is Vulcan. Okay, esoteric ruler of Taurus. So be mindful of what people want from you. You know, you can tell when somebody wants something from you. Sometimes people act weird when they know they're going to take something from you. Or they are like, you know what I mean? They just got their eye on something that you have, that you possess, right? Because Taurus is talking about your possessions. And so is Scorpio. So this is like a cunning type of card. But this is kind of like, you know, not letting someone get too close, okay? And this is like someone that you might just be like, why are you acting different? Or like, you know, why are you this person? Because this is somebody that might be new, that just came out of nowhere. You don't know if you can trust them, you know what I mean? It could even be like on social media or something like that, but like it doesn't have to be. This could just be somebody like in your general vicinity who might be seeming like they're interested in you in some kind of way. It could be sexual, it could be sensual, but it's like, if you don't trust them, then just don't even entertain like their advances, you know what I mean? Because the fox is not someone that you want to entertain their advances. Libra. Cool. The stars. We like this one. This is giving very energetic, Aquarius energy, astrology. So maybe this is a good time for you in the sky astrologically, just because Saturn, the planet that rules Aquarius, is actually in Aquarius, I believe, and it's about to go direct, okay? Venus is direct in Libra. Mars, I don't think that it's retrograde yet, but it's in Gemini, okay? And Mars being in Gemini could be talking about very intentional communication, okay? So maybe you need to be very intentional about the ways that you are communicating. Maybe you need to be intentional about your perspective, okay? Maybe you need to see the beauty of how you are relating to this new perspective that is allowing you to be more direct with your usage of verbalization and words, okay? This is also paying attention to like your chart, right? And it'll just help you discover a lot of things for yourself. Some of you need to watch documentaries, videos about like science, because for me, science helps me with my spirituality. It helps me, with my connection with God. It supports it. It also just kind of like helps me with my sense of my place in the world, my place in the universe. It also helps me understand my relationships a little bit better, right? It helps me understand my relationship with nature, but this is very cosmic. This is your relationship and your connection to everything that surrounds you, that goes beyond the limitations of your consciousness. You see what I mean? So this is seeing the big picture for some people, right? This reminds us of how small we are compared to everything else. So it's a very humbling card, right? We love it. It's also navigation. This is talking about wisdom, and it is talking about energy that it's just a connection that you might have to things that is very unique, right? So this is, the universe is very unique. There are some things that we've never seen before that's out there. You know what I mean? So it talks about a lot of surprise, just, I don't know, mysticism, okay? Cool, Libra. Scorpio, all right, work. I feel like something's paying off for you, Scorpio. You're also coming out of hibernation, right? We already talked about that. You came up earlier in the reading with this card. This is also maybe some of you are finally wanting to work with this person, right? You're finally being like, okay, I think I want to try to take part in this, or I feel like there's something that could benefit from me working with you or us working together, or you've convinced me, you know what I mean? So some of you are convinced now after a long time of like marinating or waiting for something, but I feel like you want to take advantage of an opportunity that can pay off for you in some kind of way, or you might even just benefit from it. Maybe it's not a long-term investment that you're making. Maybe it's a short-term investment, you know what I mean? But it's like, don't let this opportunity pass you by, because it's kind of like, maybe you're going to need that extra money come 2 months from now or something. You never really know. So when you have the opportunity to take advantage of like what life has to offer for you, go ahead and do that. All right, Sagittarius, you better work. Bam. Yeah, Sagittarius, you got the sun, so everything's looking great for you, Sag. Whoever, if you have a Sag placement that's very significant, if you got a stellium there, then this is great for you. Maybe Sagittarius, you're dealing with a Leo. So this is talking about being very proud of what you've accomplished. You know what I mean? Because you've done something that people thought maybe was impossible or you couldn't do, right? This is talking about your creativity. It's connected to your solar plexus. This is also kind of like wearing this type of crown of pride or accomplishment, not in a bad way. This is good, you know what I mean? This is kind of like you've discovered some aspect of yourself or your lineage that just makes you feel even more proud of who you are. Maybe it was something that you didn't know before. Maybe you had to go back in time in some kind of way to see, like, maybe who your great grandmother was or your grandmother, or how they, connected to the community, you know what I mean? And all of that stuff. Maybe like it's making you realize what your bloodline has given you, or your ancestry or whatever, really, that's great. You're living your purpose. And if you're asking yourself, this is where I'm supposed to be? Yes, this is where you're supposed to be. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of the desert, you're like, well, wow, where is the next thing coming from? Where is the stuff that's going to sustain me coming from? Just be patient. It's coming, whatever that is, and it's so funny that you have this card. I tried to only pick this one up, but I picked up both of them. So it's like, if you're looking for sustenance and the reassurance, like it's coming, you might be feeling like you're in the middle of a drought or you're in the middle of a desert, but this is like right before things are going to turn around for you. You know what I mean? And maybe you might be helping things turn around for a Leo, Sagittarius, right? Fire sign trine. Capricorn. Destiny and fate is going to test you in some kind of way. You just have to have faith in something, right? Especially when you may feel like you maybe lost some money, or maybe lost out on something, or you might be putting something to rest. You know what I mean, Capricorn? This is also like maybe something has lived its lifespan, right? If some of you are dealing with an actual death, I'm really sorry about that. There is no way that I could understand what you might be going through at this time. It doesn't really matter if it's it's a relative, it's a friend, it's someone you know, somebody you worked with, or, you know, somebody from your neighborhood, or, you know, maybe it's a pet or something. It could even be someone's bird. You know, you never really know. Like, people have these connections with their pets. But also, like, this is a card of, like, compassion to me, right? It's giving very Pisces energy. It's giving 12th house because it has the Roman numeral X11, which is 10 and 2, which is 12. So it's like you might need to surrender to something, right? Or you might need to forgive something, or you might need to just, like, let something go so that something else can, you know, not materialize, maybe, but so that the energies can shift, right? You need to allow for the energies to shift, right? And have faith in yourself and have faith in the process as well. Don't think just because you let something go or something, you know, is no longer, then life doesn't matter. You know, that's not the case. You know, you need to honor what was so that you can make something of what will be, okay? Capricorn, Aquarius, this is Mercury. This is kind of like an exalted energy for you. So Mercury is definitely talking about movement. It's also talking about being open-minded. Okay, you need to be more open-minded, Aquarius, right? And you are, but sometimes, I mean, you're fixed. So it's like you're open-minded in terms of like what you think, but it's almost kind of like challenge yourself, right? Mercury is the esoteric ruler of Aries, right? So Mercury is like challenging your point of view, challenging your perspective, right? It gets you to sort of like be more flexible within your thought patterns and within your thought process. So kind of like try to explore new territory, right? Also, you know what I mean? Like, don't let people make you feel like you can't traverse certain land, or, you know, or you can't be on certain turf. You know, people will make you feel like a stranger sometimes in the places that, you know, you frequent, right? But that doesn't have to be. That's why this snake is here. I feel like the snake is like trying to prevent you from going in areas or directions that you want to go in, but don't let that happen. You know what I mean? And you know what Mariah Carey says, snakes in the grass, it's time to cut the lawn. Okay? So that's what it is. Beware of snakes in the grass, Aquarius. But keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Don't got time for love, no time for love. Think about yourself too. Think about where you're going, what you're doing. Don't think about what these other folks don't want you to be doing, and where they don't want you to be going. All right, Pisces, bam. You know, this is the ending to a toxic cycle, ending to toxic situations. You know, you're getting rid of toxic people, toxic, intimate relationships that you might have with people, places, things, substances, ideas, mindsets. You know, this is kind of like, hold on one second. Sorry, the next time I record, I'm not gonna let all of that happen. But this is kind of like letting go, releasing something, and realizing ways that you've been holding on to certain like toxic things or people, right? This is also a card of balance after maybe illness or something like that. You know, getting healthier, thinking about your body, the longevity of your body, like that type of thing, right? Also releasing what you cannot take with you. You know what I mean? It's very much like a let go or be dragged type of energy. But you also need to be at peace with something as well, you know? So let something go, you know, and be at peace with it, because you got to find flexibility. Sometimes you're forced to be flexible in life in ways that you never even thought you would be tested. Your flexibility of, like, you know, your perception, I don't even know if that's a thing, would be tested. You know what I mean? But it's okay. Like, you and Capricorn have like similar energies, because Capricorn, I believe, got the crosses, which is like something, destiny and fate testing you, but also letting go of something, because it's crosses, obviously. And then with the coffin is just kind of like making sure that you don't, you know, make yourself sick, that type of thing, being good to your body, what you put into your body. It's also like needing to get sleep, maybe needing to get rest, being in your power by realizing where you might be vulnerable and accepting the vulnerabilities. Oh my God. Yeah. So accept your vulnerability. Don't be afraid of your vulnerability, Pisces, whatever that is. But also it's like protect yourself and don't let yourself be vulnerable to people who are not good for you. You know what I mean? In that way. And also like, you know, sometimes we are vulnerable to ourselves, right? It's almost like the inner saboteur, or like well, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, that type of thing. But like do what's in your heart, you know. This is the message for everybody. Do what's in your heart. Believe in yourself. Be passionate about love, right? And be proud of others, but also be proud of yourself, you know. And maybe you need to take the time out of your day to tell somebody that you love, right? Or that you care about, or that you respect, or you honor, whatever it is that you can share with them that would help them sort of like uplift, that you know would just, sometimes people just need to say things that they think, because sometimes we think a lot of things and we don't say them, and that's a missed opportunity. Okay, thank you. I can't believe that I just did that. Wow. I really appreciate everyone. Like, share, and subscribe, as the man said when I thought he interrupted me, but he interrupted me for a good reason. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot. Here on YouTube, it's just Providence now, and I'm gonna change it over there too, just because, you know, I'm more than just tarot, right? I think so. You can follow my, look, Wayfair. You can follow my personal account on IG. It's NYC Kendrick. Now, the thing is that I'm private now because, you know, people get very weird on social media. And, honey, the people up in the stories it's just too much sometimes. And I need y'all to stop acting up fool. Hopefully you like my poems, you know, my lyrics, my lyricism, my rhymes that I post. You know, when I was in a place, this was like 2-3 years ago, I can't even remember, I would write things in the morning when I would wake up. So I have a history with myself of doing that. I know a lot of people haven't seen me do that, or, you know, whatever. But I'm a creative individual, and it is how I connect with spirit. It's how I reconnect with myself, and it's how I stay grounded. So if you see me being creative, you know, you can support it or not, but I ain't gonna stop. Just because it's who I am, right? And you should be who you are too, and not let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? Give me very 5 of swords, you know, that type of thing. But, you know, I kind of was in my Queen of Swords energy, you know? And I like being there because, I mean, my first house planets are, you know, they, that's all I'm gonna say. I got like 3. Which is crazy. I mean, you know, look at your chart. Look at your chart. I mean, like, if you're into Vedic, look at your Vedic. I feel like, you know, it's 2 sides of the coin there. But your Western chart, too. And if you know how to look at it, it really can reveal some things about you that your Vedic chart wouldn't, you know? Character things, right? Ways of being. And not what's happening in real time in the sky, you know? Things that just are, right? But then the Vedic will tell you a lot more based on principles that are precise, okay? And usually precision leads to accuracy, okay? I'm not gonna say it's more accurate than Western astrology. I'm not gonna go there. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, you know, that's like saying one religion is more accurate than the other one, when other people come from different parts of the world, and some people haven't even heard of other people's. But God is everywhere and in everything. Thank you all. I will talk to you soon. The video, I can't believe that it's gotten to be like, you know, this long. I was not anticipating this. I need to look down here and see what time it is. Okay, yeah, I do need to get going. And I'm just going to clear out the energy here. Where is that leech ray? Oh, here we go. Let's burn some sage, whatever this mix is, to clear it out. There we go. Bye, y'all. Talk soon.